How do? Let's talk about recommendations. I will never recommend anything to anybody because in the past it has gone badly. I mean, I don't know whether this has ever happened to you before. You've got a favourite TV show, you recommend it to a friend, they say, yeah, I'll watch that, yeah. And then the very next episode is the worst episode that programme has ever put out in its entire history. And you say to your friend, did you watch that? And they're like, yeah, it was rubbish. And you're like, yeah, it was a bad episode. So the next episode that comes along is the greatest episode that programme has ever put out. And you say to them, did you watch it? And they said, no, it was so bad last week that I didn't bother watching it this week. It was rubbish. And you're like, ugh. So that's why I never recommend anything to anybody. Even if I love a programme so much, I won't recommend it at all. Won't even mention it. Not even subliminally. I mean, I used to work for a video rental place. That pretty much ages this story. And people would say, have you seen such and such a film? And I'd have to say, yeah. And they'd say, how is it? And I'm like, oh, it's okay, I suppose. Apart from one time when these two delightful transsexual people that used to come in regularly would come in very late at night and say, oh, recommend us something. And they would be all nice and flirty, and I'd say, oh, well, suppose there's that film, it's okay. And I knew that a film, Leaving Las Vegas, had won a hell of a lot of Oscars, so I recommended that to them. And they came back and they said, oh my God, we wanted something that was a nice, easy Saturday night thing, and you recommended that to us. And I'm like, oh, sorry about that. But, on the other hand, at one point we had two films. We had 28 Days Later, which is fluffy Sandra Bullock goes to rehab comedy, and 28 Days Later, which is zombie apocalypse. And we always used to have to say to people when they rented it out, you know which one this is, don't you? This is 28 Days Later. This is 28 Days. And this one woman come in and she said, yeah, I've been recommended it by a friend. Yeah, I want to see that film. And I said, 28 Days Later? You want to see 28 Days Later? Yeah, I was recommended it by a friend. And I went, okay, fair enough. 2 hours later, she's back. What's happened? Zombie apocalypse. She wanted the sweet romantic comedy. Am I to blame? No! But do I get the blame? Yes! Which is why, from now on, if I like music, I won't say it. I won't tell anybody. A girl once asked me, what music are you into? And I said, ooh, eclectic. And she said, oh, I don't know who they are. So, there you go. I just will never recommend any programme to you ever. No matter how brilliant, how magnificent, and how wonderful I think that programme is.